Good morning, Super Scholars. Today is Monday, September 14th. I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend and you're ready to get our week started on a great foot. Today is a good day to have a good day. Before we start our lesson, let's look at some vocabulary words that we will be using this week. The first vocabulary word is character. Do you know what a character is? A character is a person, animal, or creature in a story. Another word we'll be using this week is setting. The setting is where and when the story takes place. We will also be using the vocabulary word event. A major event is something important that happens in a story. Remember, before any lesson, we always start with our learning intention and success criteria. Our learning intention tells us what our goal is for the day. What are we going to be learning to do? Today, I am learning to use a story's illustrations and details to describe the characters. Illustrations is another way of saying pictures. So illustrations are pictures that are drawn to match a story. Details are those important parts of a story or information that an author gives us. We are using both of those to describe the characters in a story. Do you remember what characters means? Awesome! Characters are the people, animals, or creatures in a story. Our success criteria tells us exactly what we need to be able to do to mark off this learning target. So your success criteria for today is I know I've got it when I can describe the characters in a story. So you're going to be describing the characters in the story we're reading. Listen to this YouTube video to learn about the parts of a story. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing you're going to do is take a minute to draw a picture of yourself. Did you draw a picture of yourself? Awesome. All right. So today we're going to be reading and you're going to listen to the story and illustrate pictures to go along with it. So you're going to be an illustrator today. An illustrator is a person who creates the pictures or illustrations in a book. So while you're listening, this is what you're going to be doing. We're going to read Officer Buckle and Gloria without looking at the pictures. Why aren't we going to look at the pictures? Because instead, you're going to illustrate what you hear on your own. So you're drawing the pictures to go along with the text. Now, we're focusing on characters. Remember, we're learning to describe characters. So what do you hear in the text that tells you about the characters? Try to illustrate the characters by listening to the details from the text. Remember, a character is a person, animal, or creature in a story. Once you have finished listening to the story, now you can go back and look at the pictures. Do your illustrations match the illustrations in the story? What do the illustrations show you about the characters? Are you surprised about the characters that you're seeing? What about Gloria? Was there anything the text didn't tell us that the illustrations show us about Gloria? So remember, we're using illustrations and details to help us describe the characters. Who's one character in the story? Awesome job! One character in the story is Officer Buckle. When we describe a character from the story, we can use these sentences. We read. What is something we read about Officer Buckle in the story? Something we read about Officer Buckle in the story is that he is a policeman. We read Officer Buckle is a policeman. We saw. What is something you saw in the illustrations of Officer Buckle? Look at this picture here. We saw that Officer Buckle has glasses. Do you see that in the picture? They never told us that in the text. I'm so glad we have that picture to show us that. We know. What is something we know about Officer Buckle? Something we know about Officer Buckle is that he loves to teach about rules. Who is another character in the story? Gloria. Try to complete these sentence stems on your own about Gloria. What is something we read about Gloria? What is something we saw in the illustrations of Gloria? And what is something we know about Gloria? Watch this video to learn the short A sound with Geraldine the giraffe. Do you remember what sound short A makes? Maybe you can figure it out with Geraldine. After you watch this video, then it's your independent learning work. So we're practicing describing the characters using the details and illustrations of a story. Remember, one character from the book is Gloria. Can you complete these sentence stems? What is something we read about Gloria, we saw about Gloria, and something we know about Gloria? While you're writing, remember to use a capital letter at the beginning of your sentence, finger space, and use punctuation at the end of your sentence. You always want to do your very best writing, especially since you're in first grade now. All right, Super Scholars, I can't wait to see the awesome work you turn in today.